We do want to continue our coverage tonight with breaking news out of Blair County, where a home exploded in Tyrone.
Right now, we know 5 people have been taken to Altoona area hospitals for their injuries. Our
Peyton Kennedy, she joins us now live at the scene. Peyton, do we know at this point what caused the explosion?
Well, Matt and Maggie, it all started when a call came in for a gas odor. An employee from People's Natural Gas responded to the scene, and at that point, the home exploded. I've also just been told by emergency management agencies that one person has been unaccounted for. Now, 3 residents on the 1300 block of Pennsylvania Avenue, 1 bystander, and an employee from People's Natural Gas were all transported to the hospital, according to emergency management. And 2 adjacent buildings were also impacted by the flames, and residents had to be helped out of their homes. Residents from 12th to 15th Street were evacuated and are being offered shelter at Good Shepherd Church and the Tyrone High School. Almost 10 fire companies from surrounding areas were dispatched to the scene.
We heard a loud noise, loud crash, and we both looked down the street, and this house had collapsed into itself. It was kind of startling. We walked down the street a little bit, and when we got down there, we saw the roof of the house completely on the ground.
We want to make sure that everybody's evacuated the area. We've sent out notices through our rover system or our reverse 911 to let people know that. Just ask everybody to avoid the area, give the gas company and the firefighters a chance to get their job done.
I'm told a coroner is on scene in case services are needed, but at this time, no fatalities are confirmed. Stick with WTAJ News coming up at 6 for the latest details. In Tyrone, Peyton Kennedy, WTAJ News.
Explosion killed 1 person and injured 5 others. Our Charlotte Ames joins us live in the borough with more on the newly released details.
So, Charlotte, what do investigators believe happened so far?
Well, Maggie, Matt, People's Natural Gas says its preliminary investigation indicates that the gas leak that led to the explosion on July 26th was due in part to its pipeline being struck by a drill operated by a contractor working on a waterline project. In a statement, the company says its gas lines were properly marked and it's conducted safety checks along the streets of Tyrone to make sure that no other parts of the system have been affected. Now again, Peoples referred to its investigation as preliminary and added that the company is continuing to work with multiple other agencies investigating the explosion. One of those is the Tyrone Police Department, which is being assisted by the state police.
We're using the Pennsylvania State Police Fire Marshal, who is an expert in fire investigations, and then their accident reconstruction team, who was on site that night for the fatality.
Tyrone Interim Police Chief Jessica Walk says their probe is still in the early stages and they're still looking at everything.
We're working really hard to get the answers for the family of the deceased and the people that lost everything in the explosion and the fire.
Now, it's probably safe to say that the investigation into the explosion and fire is far from over. The PUC is also investigating, and neither the PUC nor the police have had much to say about it to this point. Reporting in Tyrone, Charlotte Ames, WTAJ News.
After a day of evacuations, residents on Pennsylvania Avenue in Tyrone are now able to return to their homes. Officials have determined the area is safe from other potential gas leaks. Our Peyton Kennedy is live in Tyrone. She spoke with residents and first responders as they work to support each other through yesterday's explosion. So Peyton, what's been the biggest message from the community?
Well, Matt, in a time of need, residents, businesses, and community leaders have all come forward to lift up their neighbors. The borough of Tyrone has made national headlines in the past 24 hours, but inside city limits, it's a story of support and selflessness.
I ran over to grab water at Save-A-Lot, for example, and on my way in, the manager was on his way out with cases.
Borough Councilman David Snyder says the community sprang into action following yesterday's home explosion.
First with urgency for everyone's safety. Then came the supplies for first responders from businesses, churches, and residents.
It's amazing. I even heard that Sam's Club dropped off a gigantic delivery of Gatorade and water, and it's now sitting over at the Hookies.
The support was truly overwhelming. We had people dropping off water, food, Gatorade, ice, anything we could need, and people were asking on everybody's Facebooks of what they could do to help.
Members from Blazing Arrow, Hook, and Ladder responded, alongside about 10 other departments.
It was very well handled by all the responding departments and the agencies that helped us, like EMA and EMS, and all of those, we all came together as one big community.
Churches opened their doors to Pennsylvania Avenue residents who had to evacuate the area, and search parties have been looking for missing pets.
It gives you a really good feeling to know that the community will have your back like this. It was very impressive. The important thing now is the community rallies behind the families that were affected by the fires.
GoFundMe pages have been created for the displaced families, and tomorrow clothing donations and gift cards will be collected at the Brew Coffee and Tap on West 10th Street. The families overwhelmed by the support.
They are so encouraged by all the pouring out of just verbal support, praying for them. These things really mean a lot. And if you can't give financially, reaching out and expressing how you're feeling is also encouraging to them.
You can find the links to those GoFundMes and more on our website, wearecentralpa.com. In Tyrone, Peyton Kennedy, WTAJ News.